Hello, today I'm going to give an example of how to create an accident investigation document. This document will be for a vehicle accident, so I go to iAuditor, which can be found at https://app.safetyculture.io, and then simply follow your login instructions and click on templates on the left pane, and then it'll pop open the different audits that we have for Cisco St. Louis, and then click on the vehicle accident report start audit button. And where are you conducting this inspection? St. Charles. It'll load. The concepts here are similar whether you are inputting this in your personal phone or on a tablet or on the desktop. I found that copying and pasting is a lot easier to do on the desktop, so I do most of my report making on my desktop. So simply put in the employee's name, and in this case just keep it very simple, Joe Smith. Everything will be fictitious, and the accident location. This is critical. This is what's going to be on the front page of the report sheet when you print out or when you save as a PDF. So it's helpful if there's a business name associated with it, then do that. If it's just an accident intersection, like Interstate 44 in Bowles, then put that in there. At this time, we'll just put in a fictitious name, Joe's Crab Shack. Anytime, I'm just putting in now. Let's say it happened this morning, we can report it in 30-minute increments. It's not really too critical to get the numbers exact, but try to get within 15 minutes of it. And then based on your login, it'll already pre-print your name inside the prepared by section. Now, this is the critical thing. It's not mandatory we upload a photo of the driver, but we can. And you just simply hit upload media. You can go into your pictures. And I don't have any pictures, so we'll just put in the one picture I have, which is a Moto Guzzi B73 Racer. That's important to you. So at this point, if we want to go back and change anything, we can always click on sections and it'll take us right back. So in this case, I'm just going to, since I'm already here, I'm going to copy Joe Smith's name and then go back down to driver information. See, everything is saved automatically as we go through. So I'm just going to put in his name. His phone number is 555.111.2233. He lives at 123 Anywhere Court. And he lives in St. Charles. Home state, we've got two selections, Missouri, Illinois, because everybody that works for St. Louis either lives in Missouri or lives in Illinois. And the zip code here is 63301. His driver's license number. That's critical. That is one of the numbers that ties that individual driver to this claim. This is critical information. So if it's a Missouri license, it's N1111111, and then we select the driver's license state, the issuing state of the driver's license. Add in his birth date, another critical piece of information. So he was born January 1, 1980. I made a mistake, so I can just go back in there and like that. Data hire. This is a critical piece of information. This helps in the big picture because this tells us the length of term between when someone is involved in an accident. That type of data is critical when you're trying to look at a big picture scenario as far as where are you having accidents. Are you having accidents with drivers less than 1 year or greater than 1 year, greater than 5 years but less than 10 years, or greater than 10 years? So get as best you can. If you don't have the correct date of hire, you can contact Dave Chase, or you can contact HR for their hire date. This is not their seniority date. This is their date of hire. So we'll put his date of hire as 12/1/2017. And then the other piece of information that's critical, Social Security number. So 444-44-4444. This is critical, and this is also the other number that ties back with the driver's license on the claim. It's helpful to have this information, although it's not necessarily mandatory for an AO claim, but it's good information to have for other claims reportings, especially for ORI incidents that we're recording and documenting with the employee injury report. So I'm going to click on the next section. So the accident location. So this is the actual location of the accident. Again, go back to my information sheet. It was at Joe's Crab Shack, but I didn't document anything. So I'm going to click back to accident information. From here, I'm going to go to Google Maps, and let's just do Gulf Shores. So right here, I can copy. I can either right click and click copy, or using my keyboard, I can hit Control C, and that copies the address. Go back to the tab, and I hit Control V, or I can click paste as plain text. If I want to undo, Control Z. Add location description if needed. This is critical. This is an area that we struggle with. I'm changing the view to satellite view. So where did the vehicle accident happen? Was it on the north side of the parking lot? Was it on the south side of the parking lot? Was it, the east side service alley? And so in this location, I'll put east side service alley. So an additional location description, I will type in east side service alley. And if I need further description, I can type in that. Number of vehicles involved. In the circumstance that we're talking about, I struck a parked vehicle, and it was not, the parked vehicle was a passenger vehicle, so we'll type in here the number of commercial vehicles involved as 1. How did the accident happen? And this is where we can make the process go much smoother. So let's go back to our map. We can look at things. The driver pulled in, turned right into the parking lot at the first entrance, and then turned left in front of the storeway, and then turned right in the alley or the service alley, and struck a parked vehicle with the cab of the truck. So with that visual in mind, we'll go back to the report. Driver turned right into parking lot. So real simple. The driver turned right into the parking lot and then turned, and I'll change that, then turned left into the front of the store, He then turned right onto the east side service alley, striking the parked Ford F-450 in the tailgate of the pickup with the let me do a hyphen there, with the front end of the tractor. So this sets up a real clear scenario. I've established the direction of path that the driver took to that location. I've also established what it is he did immediately before striking the vehicle and what vehicle and what was the state of the vehicle. The vehicle was a Ford F-450 and it was parked. Where did he strike him? In the tailgate. That could be, left rear fender, left, front fender, could be passenger side door, could be trailer hitch. But the more description that we can put into this, the more clear it is to whoever's reading it exactly what happened. We have to remember that it's not just an internal document. This is a document that goes out to a third party, and they need to make heads or tails of what happened. How did the incident happen? What was damaged? Then we're going to go down and write, description of damage to the Cisco property, and we'll say that there was damage to the front bumper assembly. And again, that could be left front, the left headlight assembly, or any number of items. If we have any photos, this is a good opportunity to upload our photos. So we can simply go to upload photos, upload media. Just for the sake of discussion, I'm going to go to other incidents that I have, just to help make it more clear. So we'll just simulate that this is the picture of a damage of a vehicle. Since we've got different views, actually I'll use a different I'll delete that one. So here's a good example. Now I can hit down shift, 3 images, click on those 3 images, and all 3 will load up. If I need to add more, for documentation purposes, again, I can hit control and choose what photos I want, or shift, and that'll highlight every image or every file in that line. So damaged front bumper. Alright. What were the weather conditions? Well, they were clear. If other, describe. Otherwise, just type NA. Little cheat I use is I copy and I highlight using Control C, the NA. Light condition, it was daylight. No other descriptions needed. Road surface, it was on asphalt, no other descriptions. And was anyone transported by ambulance? No. Now, to sign here, this is really for the person who's collecting the information, so I'll just put my name and then click next section. Tractor number. So this is real critical. So if we go back to my incident files, so let's go back to this Manny incident. I think that happened here, so let's go to a different one. So as I scroll down, you can see the produced effect, but this is where this information that's under the vehicle information is critical. So I'm going to copy that, the tractor number. And in this case, we're only looking for, although both pieces of information are great, we're really only looking for the identity of the unit that's damaged. So if only the tractor was damaged, then that's what's critical, and I'm not so concerned about the trailer damage and the trailer information corresponding to it. or vice versa. If it was a trailer that was damaged, that's the equipment that I'm looking to collect information for. However, if it's both tractor and trailer received damage, then of course I need both pieces of information. License plate and VIN number can be helpful. We will definitely need those in the event of a large collision that we're not going to be paying for. That, especially we can, it was a collision on the freeway at 55 miles an hour and there's significant damage. In that case, we definitely will need the license plate number, the state license, state that's issuing the license plate, and the VIN number and the tractor make, model, etc. and damage description of that damage. But in this case, I'm just going to type in NA. That's not applicable. Doesn't matter at this point, and just go through and add that data into each block. I'm a big fan of it filling out each block because then it indicates that, yeah, we recognize what the question was and we just decided not to answer it, or it was unknown at the time. And if it is unknown, simply type in unknown, because we can always go back and we can enter in the unknown information. One of the nice things about iAuditor is it allows us to audit our own reports and go back and make changes as new information is revealed. Description to the damage to the Cisco tractor. Damaged front bumper assembly. And then I've already added photos to the tractor. This is a good separation if we just want to look at damage to the tractor or damage to the trailer. But I've already done that in a previous section, or previously in the section, so I won't do it here. Cisco trailer, again, we're just going to put NA, and highlight it, and then just copy and paste. Description of trailer damage, none. And again, type in the name. Alright, other vehicle. So the other vehicle involved, yes. So this is real critical. If a driver is calling and saying, hey, I just hit somebody's car, we need to do everything we possibly can to find out who the owner of that vehicle or who the property owner is. This includes damage to buildings. If we make huge mistakes when we don't reach out to the customer, if we're striking a customer's building and saying, who is the person that's financially responsible for your building? Because that can slow down or completely jack up the claim process and does not make for happy customers or happy property owners. So in this case, driver name is synonymous with property owner. So the property owner we'll say was Julie Klein and her address. So that can be the business address or whatever address she provides. In this case, we're just going to use the Gulf Shores address. So again, I'm going to Control C, copy, and then Control V in there. Her driver's license number is not applicable at this point in time unless we get it. It's really nice if we can instruct the driver, hey, ask the car owner if we can photograph her driver's license, because it's got everything in there that we need to know. So, but in this case, it's not so critical. What is so critical is that we get a contact number. So oftentimes we are failing to get a contact number. I know if someone hit my car, I would want them to have my phone number so that they can contact me and assume financial responsibility for the damage they've done to my vehicle. So moving on, I don't have any photos of the other vehicle, but we can go back. I know Mr. Decker hit Mr. Decker. Who was it? So again, we can add other damage in. There's the photos that accompany that document. So the vehicle make and model was a 2017 Ford F450. License plate information, this is critical. This is where the photos can come back and really help us. If we've done a really good job, and just for a second, I want to go back to Mr. Staley's vehicle incident on the 6th of August. But if you look here, I'll just open the file. We've got a good close-ups of the damage from multiple angles, multiple views. In this case, the photographer walked completely around the car, did a 360 around the other subject's vehicle, took a photograph of the intersection, and basically did a panorama view of that intersection where that incident occurred. This is really, really helpful. Again, the person that took the photographs took a photograph of the incident number that was handed to the driver at the scene of the incident, and we'll get to this in a second, but there's an overhead. So I'll go back, put in a license plate number. In this case, we're just going to put NA. But this information is critical. We need as much information about the other person's vehicle as possible. It's easy for us to go back to our own vehicle and get that information, whether it be a VIN or a plate number. We have that on record. But once we leave the scene, we do not have that record of the other vehicle. And then if we can check the registration, let's do so. Let's take a photograph of the registration. Because it may be an employee of a company. You know, if it was Joe's Crab Shack that owned the vehicle, then the person that was driving the vehicle or who had responsibility for the physical responsibility for the vehicle would not necessarily be listed as the registered owner. And then down here, in that case, if the owner's information is different than that of the driver, put that information in here. So if Julie does not own the vehicle, then we will put in someone else's information. In this case, she's the owner, so we're going to type NA. If we have their insurance information, so A1 insurance, type it in there, and the policy is AP-760-11-FU, right? And it expires 9/30/18. If we took a photo of that, that's great. Describe damage to the other vehicle, damage to the tailgate. No, in this case, let's say there was no bumper on that vehicle, so no bumper was present for the accident. Because if we do not state items such as this, it could come back and bite us. The car owner could say, "Wow, here's my opportunity. I backed into a parking bollard 2 months ago and I haven't replaced the bumper, but now I'm going to get Cisco to replace my bumper because, I can say from the photograph when they say, oh, there's no bumper here. Oh yeah, it fell off when that driver hit it." And there won't be any much recourse on that. It'll increase the claim amount. And then again, another opportunity right here for upload media. If we want to, was law enforcement called? In this case, we'll say yes, because it was a significantly smashed up tailgate and the owner of the vehicle is irate. So in that case, we'll put in the officer's name, officer fire starter. The report number is 18-654-2321. And he worked for, let's go back to the address up here. Oh, it'd be Creve Coeur. So Creve Coeur PD. Was the driver cited? If you don't know, click unknown. Otherwise, answer yes or no. And then, was there auxiliary damage? Was there damage to a building? Was there damage to another vehicle, etc.? Yes or no? In this case, we'll say no. Now, here's where we want to get the associate to sign. Or, excuse me, not there. Previous section. But here, put in my name. Let's go to previous section. I'm sorry, that was in accident information. That's where the employee needs to sign, which is the second. Because this statement should be essentially what he tells you, but you need to filter. So how did the accident happen? He's going to say, well, I turned the corner, I hit the truck. That's oftentimes what a driver will say. And that's factually true, but there's not a lot of details there, right? So that's why we need to get more information. So what we're going to have is him sign that. So, driver Joe. You can enter this. If you're doing this on the computer, obviously the driver cannot sign it. But we can always print this out when we're done and have the driver sign the completed copy. And if he gives him an opportunity to make any changes that he feels needs to be made based on the accuracy. So when did investigation get completed? We'll just do it for now. So clearly describe the order of events. Well, so here's where I've made my life easy. So I'm going to go back to the accident information. And then I'm going to go in the supervisor report. I'm going to go back into here. So I'm basically saving myself a lot of work because I can just copy and paste. If I've entered the information correctly in the very first section about the accident investigation, I can come in here and make it better for myself. Now, add a Google Map image with notes or drawings. So this is where we can be really helpful to whoever's trying to clean up their report. So in this circumstance, I already got the map pulled up, and I'm just going to zoom in just a little bit more. Now, on my keyboard, I'm going to hit Control, Print Screen, and then I'm going to go over here to my menu and go to Microsoft Office Tools and scroll down to, I don't have PowerPoint. There it is. I'm scroll down to PowerPoint, excuse me. New computer today. When PowerPoint opens, I'm going to click on Blank Presentation. Alright, so here's my blank presentation. I'm going to, just for argument's sake, or ease, convenience, I'm going to just delete all the text cells in there. And now I'm going to hit Control V, and that's going to print my captured screen onto the PowerPoint slide. And I'm going to crop it. So I right click crop, and I can drag down to what's important. So I like to leave the scale down here because it'll give you the scale right here at the bottom right. But it does resize the image a little bit. And in this case, so now I want to insert the path in which the driver drove the vehicle. So we indicated that he made a turn into the parking lot. So I'm going to draw an arrow. It's not the right arrow. There. I can flip it, I can turn it. I tend to use red because it's a pretty good contrasting color to whatever else is on the screen. So I'm done with that. Now I'm going to insert. I've already identified a turn, so really all I need to do is create another arrow. So I'm just going to do a directional arrow. Turn it sideways. And it doesn't have to be perfect, it just needs to, everything should match. I want to just copy it. So I've duplicated the image. I'm going to copy it, turn it, copy that one again. And then I want to move this one just because I want to space it out a little bit more, whatever. It doesn't really matter too much. And this does not have to be picture perfect. It just needs to be a good representation of what's happening. Then I'm going to go back here and going back to the old days of comic books and Batman on TV in the 60s. I'm going to put a little marker here that indicated, where this was. I can change the fill, the texture of it. Change it to a pattern fill. So kapow, bricks, diamonds, whatever. But that, I think, helps distinguishes it. So this is a really good, or a decent, not a really good, but a decent representation of what happened, right? So at this point, now I'm just going to click Save As, and I'm going to click Save it to this PC, and actually I want to click to Browse. It'll be easier. To Documents, or Desktop in this case, and create a new folder. Made up Google Overhead. And I'm just going to rename it Google Overhead. And if you look, this is saving as a PowerPoint, which is fine. I always save it as both a PowerPoint and a JPEG, and we'll see why in a second. PowerPoint's real easy to use if we need to edit it, change any information. However, it's not so easy to share. So I'm going to go back. Since I've saved it as a PowerPoint, I'm going to come back here and click Save As. Again, Browse. We're already in Desktop / made up Google Overhead, but now I'm going to come down to where it says Save As Type. Click on that drop down, and I'm going to save it as a JPEG. Save. And which slides do I want to export? Just this one. If there are multiple slides, then we could do all slides. But I found it's easier to just click on just this one. Now I'm going to return back to iAuditor and add a Google Map image with notes or drawings. So I'll go find the folder, made up Google Overhead, here it is, and there's the JPEG. So this is why I saved it as a JPEG. If it was only a PowerPoint, the PowerPoint would not attach to iAuditor. Okay, why did this happen? Driver struck rear of truck. Did not see him. Why? Reviewing routing notes. Not observing front of. Why? He felt So question 4, we've run down to what exactly happened. So the root cause was, he far too behind. Why did he fall too far behind that day? Head was not attached to his shoulders this morning and couldn't find said head. Okay. And then this is where the supervisor puts their name in. So put my name in, and now we're done. Complete audit. I can share stuff from here, but I don't like that function. So I just click back in here, and I can click up here at the top where it says export. I'm going to export as a PDF. So it's creating everything, all the photos I added, the map, everything. It's creating it in the PDF for Joe's Crab Shack. There's Joe Smith's information in there. The information on the accident itself. There's photographs that coincide with it. All the basic information that we need to properly report this vehicle accident is right there. Now it'll only take 5-10 minutes to properly report this. And then when the adjuster gets it, the investigation document's pretty clear. Also, in the event that we're under a DOT audit, we're able to show, hey, Mr. DOT Auditor, we are conducting root cause investigations of why vehicle accidents happen and occur. And that's really all that needs to be there. And then you scroll to the end, and there's the greater, larger size photos. And that is it. Then at that point, you just save it and share it with everybody. Any questions? Please reach out and contact me at any point in time. I'm happy to assist. One thing, just keep a good eye on the details. Oftentimes what we miss is in this Google overhead. We're not providing that, and it really makes it hard for someone who wasn't there or someone who didn't talk to the driver to understand what it is that occurred that caused that accident. So the more information that we're putting in there as far as what happened and how it happened, with a good visual, we can put everything together and make sense of it. Thank you.